From fighting other drivers to raging on the radio more times than I can count, Max Verstappen certainly has a reputation for being hot-headed. Not even his team is safe from his wrath.
You guys give me the strategy, okay? I'm trying to rescue myself.
But what are his most unhinged moments that shocked the world and earned him the name Mad Max? We'll start with his incident at the 2020 Sakir Grand Prix. It was only lap 1, but as the cars approached turn 4, Charles Leclerc recklessly dived down into the inside of Sergio Perez, sending the Mexican driver spinning. Max now had nowhere left to go and was forced to drive off track to avoid crashing into the other cars. With no track left, there was nothing Max could do as he crashed head-on into the tyre barrier, ending his race. He was clearly furious and didn't hold back on the radio.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything there, sake.
Before then hitting his car, but Max's blood was still boiling as he kicked the tyre barrier in a fit of rage, making it clear just how unhinged he can truly be. But that was nothing compared to what happened in free practice at the 2020 Portugal Grand Prix. Verstappen was about to start a push lap, but Formula One's resident clown, Lance Stroll, had other plans. He was pretty much side by side with Stroll along the main straight, but as they approached turn 1, Stroll clearly forgot that he had mirrors as he turned straight into Verstappen.
Hey, is this guy blind? What the is wrong with him? Jesus Christ, what a...
His comments received backlash worldwide, and his post-race interview didn't really help his case.
A couple of choice words that you had for him over the radio, which some people may have taken some offence to.
Not my problem.
That wasn't the only time in 2020 Max lost his cool either. After qualifying third at the Tuscan Grand Prix, it looked like he had a good shot at securing a podium on race day. But unfortunately, things would be a lot more disastrous. After making a remarkable start, almost overtaking Hamilton, Max experienced a sudden loss of power.
No power!
When his power kicked back in, he'd already dropped down to P11, but things would only get worse. Max got caught up in a crash between Gasly, Raikkonen and Grosjean and was left utterly helpless with his car beached in the gravel.
Yeah, I'm stuck! This is what you get with this show, honestly.
At the 2021 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Verstappen was once again the victim of bad luck. But this time, the stakes were much higher. The 2021 season was nothing short of intense, with Verstappen and Hamilton battling for the championship. So a win at Baku would have been massive for Verstappen's championship dream. And with 3 laps to go, Verstappen was leading comfortably. But in a split second, everything went catastrophically wrong. On the main straight, the left rear tyre of the Red Bull failed, sending him crashing into the barriers with literally no control over his car.
The f***ing tire.
Understandably, Max was enraged, as this could have potentially cost him the championship. He not only hit his steering wheel, but once out of the car, he let his anger out on the tyre that had failed him with a kick. The 2021 Italian Grand Prix is another race that raised Verstappen's blood pressure. It was lap 26, and as Max was speeding down the main straight, Hamilton was emerging from the pit lane. Max made an aggressive move into turn 1, which caused him to collide into the Mercedes just seconds later. He was quick to let his frustration out over the radio.
That's what you get when you don't leave the space.
And made sure Helmut Marko knew just how ticked off he was. It wasn't just on track in 2021 where Verstappen would unleash his fury, but also off track, as we can see at his interview in Hungary. Just to give you some context, this was just 2 weeks after the massive crash between Verstappen and Hamilton in Silverstone, so the two drivers had been hounded with questions about the incident. So, after another reporter asked about it during the press conference, Verstappen gave them a piece of his mind.
Yeah, can we just already stop about this? Because we had so many questions about this. It's just ridiculous, honestly. Honestly, the whole Thursday, we've been answering this stupid all the time. So can we just stop about it, please?
That wasn't even the first time Verstappen had snapped at a reporter. Back in 2018, after having a string of crashes at the start of the season, Max was asked this.
Max, why have you had so many accidents?
I don't know. And like I said in the beginning of this press conference, I got really tired of all the questions. So, yeah. I think if I get a few more, I'll headbutt someone.
Max clearly has a policy of never holding back, even with his fellow drivers, and this was made obvious at the 2023 Baku sprint race. This time the man facing his fury was George Russell. As soon as the lights went out, the Brit looked to be eyeing a move on Max, and as they approached turn 2, he took his chance. He dived down the inside, squeezing Max into the wall, damaging his side pod and floor in the process. Verstappen still managed to finish the race in third, but he was still visibly frustrated that his side pod had a gaping hole in it, and when he confronted Russell, things got spicy.
Mate, we all have no grip. You all need to leave a little bit of space. Yeah, well, what's your point? Yeah, sure. But expecting it next time the same, you know?
I don't think there's been a race where Max has been so unhinged as the 2024 Hungarian Grand Prix. I mean, the guy was on a warpath all weekend. Tensions within the Red Bull garage were already beginning to boil over, as the car had seemingly slumped in performance after a dominant start to the season. But it wasn't until Hungary when things got explosive. Max's temperament was already dicey just a few laps in, as he was unhappy about having to give back a position to Lando.
Okay, so you can just drive people off the track then. Then you can tell the FIA that's how we're going to race from now onwards.
He really started to let loose as the race progressed, making his thoughts on how terrible the car was loud and clear.
No, it's absolutely there. A -5 brake bias and the thing just doesn't turn. It's unbelievable.
A strategic blunder by Red Bull on lap 40 only made things worse.
Well, that's some gentle introduction.
No, mate, don't give me that now. You guys give me strategy, okay? I'm trying to rescue what's left. Sake.
With Max's comments making his pit wall look like they wish they were never born. The end of the race brought even more chaos as Verstappen attempted to pass Hamilton for P3.
This time he gets there, he locks up and he makes contact with his old rival. Verstappen and Hamilton come together again, battling for the final place on the podium.
Yeah, moved on to braking.
I'm not even going to get into a radio fight with the other teams, Max. We'll let the stewards do their thing. It's childish on the radio, childish.
But that was nothing compared to his incident with Esteban Ocon at the 2018 Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Let's just set the scene. Verstappen was comfortably leading the race, with just 27 laps to go. By all accounts, it looked like he was going to win. Ocon had just pitted for a fresh set of tyres, but he was a whole lap behind Max, so I don't think anybody could have possibly expected what would happen next. Ocon decided to aggressively attack the race leader whilst down in P14, and as he refused to back out of the corner, he made contact with Max, causing him to spin off track.
What an idiot!
Verstappen was absolutely seething and had some strong words for Ocon on the radio.
I can't find him now in the paddock because then he has.
When Max confronted Ocon at the post-race weigh-in, the Frenchman simply shrugged off the incident, claiming that he did nothing wrong, which was the last straw for Max. He started shoving Ocon around, and you can literally feel his anger through the screen. And just to add fuel to the fire, he then said this in the post-race conference.
Can you just explain what happened between you and Esteban after the race?
I don't really have a lot to comment on that, except that he was being.
So, I don't think it's difficult to see how Mad Max earned his nickname, and I have to say, he sure makes the sport a lot more entertaining.